Hey guys, Caribbean Viking from Desert Octane here to give you another oil change video. This time we're doing a 2015 Volkswagen GTI Das Auto. By the end of this video, you should know how to go ahead and do your oil. If you can't, just replay and watch again. So here is our Volkswagen. It is a 2.0 TSI turbocharged inline 4 motor. I've been doing oil changes for like 30 years, and I have to say this is probably the easiest car I've had to do an oil change on. Well, yes, you could look over here. So your oil filter is literally located right here. The most difficult part was literally finding a socket that would actually fit around there. Volkswagen was gracious enough as well, and we'll go ahead and look into it, but the oil drain plug below it is a one-time use plug. So one of the benefits is you never have to worry about like, oh, is my thing wearing out? Because you're gonna have to change it every single time. And we have this lovely little tool right here. So you don't have to be jerking around trying to find the right socket size, because this is the right tool, and we'll include a link to this tool below. I recommend if you have any type of Volkswagen vehicle, you pick this tool up. It'll save you time, and it's only about $7. All right guys, so we have this package that just got delivered literally 2 seconds ago from USP Motors. This has everything you're gonna need with your oil change. We'll also include this in the link. This costs about $60 along with free shipping. Let's go ahead and see what they included. Make sure if you're using a knife, be very careful. These are sharp. All right, so we got bubble wrap too. So we're gonna go and take out, so what do we got here? Looks like we're gonna need another knife. I believe this is the oil or the turbocharger. Alrighty, so, ladies and gentlemen, not for all ages, Liquid Moly. This is probably one of the best oils you can purchase for a German vehicle. Our buddy John, who's the owner of this vehicle, J5 Media, this is all we've been putting in his car, and he's had 0 issues. So, definitely recommend that. They include a 5-quart and also a single. We have our lovely little filter as well. And some gummy bears. Because if you need a snack while you're working hard on your Volkswagen, you can just chow down, get yourself some, you know, German engineering gummy bears. They're super good. I don't know where you would get a pack of just 4, or why anybody would just want a pack of 4.
Just make sure they're not the sugar-free ones. It's got a motor oily taste to it.
That's great. This is the best part. This is worth all $60. You get a sticker?
Have you read the review, the Amazon review on the sugar-free?
That's why I said it.
Let's see what else we got. We got some paperwork. And apparently we can go ahead and get featured. Lovely little thank you. I always like when companies do this because they actually take the time to invest money into real paper. But I believe that's everything in there, along with some packing peanuts. Make sure to dispose of these properly. They are not biodegradable. Thanks, Mother Nature. But yeah, this is all we're gonna go ahead and need. We'll go ahead and we'll get a socket for that oil filter, and we'll go ahead and get this started. Here we go. All right, so you always wanna make sure that you do safely jack up your car. Make sure you use jack stands, which we will not be using because I like to live on the edge. But there is a jack point right underneath, so go ahead and jack it up enough. If you're a bigger guy like me, don't be afraid to send it up. All right guys, make sure you always stay safe. I always recommend if you're jacking up your car, have a buddy around in case it collapses on you. If the car collapses on you and you're still watching this video, probably scream for 911 would be your best option. So, we're gonna go ahead. Here's your oil drain pan right here. It is made out of plastic. Alrighty guys, so we're gonna go ahead and just insert your special tool in here, just like anything else, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So we're gonna go ahead and go left with this. Makes it much easier. I always recommend putting the drain pan right behind it. Sorry if the angle gets off a little bit, but just go ahead. It's gonna go ahead and spew the other direction. You'll see that pop out here in just a moment. But what we're gonna go ahead and do, we okay there, cameraman?
Yep.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and keep going lefty-loosey. And you can start seeing it drip. Now remember, I didn't mention this before, make sure your car is cooled down. If it is warm, this is extremely hot. So, we're gonna go ahead and just kinda easy does it right there. And then I'm gonna do a fast motion right here, just to try to get it out. There we go. You're gonna go ahead and just let that pan drain all nice and good. You wanna make sure that this drain plug that is dripping doesn't drip when you go ahead and move it out, because the last thing you want is some mad stains on your awesome garage floor. We'll go ahead and let that happen for a couple minutes. One of the things you should definitely double check though when you receive these packages is your oil filter. You want to go ahead and inspect it, make sure everything is there. We have one paper filter, one rubber gasket. You need to make sure that this comes included with it. If you reuse the old one, you do run a chance of it leaking. If you run without one, you will have leaking. So make sure that new one is included. If the package did not come with it, most auto part stores like AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Pet Boys, Napa, Super Cheap Auto, all that, we'll go ahead and have this in stock for you. Alrighty, so normally there would be a socket. I don't know what the size is exactly that would fit on here. We bought it specifically, but unfortunately it ran away. So we're gonna go ahead and just use some good old channel locks right here. You're just gonna go ahead and grip it right here. Once again, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you're just gonna go ahead and pry it open. There you go, not too much force needed. And you're gonna go ahead and slowly, it is warm, so be very careful. I always recommend, the car should be cool when you're doing oil, unless you're a man like me and not afraid of the fire. So we're gonna go ahead and just unswivel that enough. Before we go ahead and take it off though, because you do not wanna make a mess, because this thing is covered in oil. You're gonna go ahead and grab yourself a nice little microcloth right here. So this is one of the techniques that I've had to learn through trial and error. So you're gonna go ahead and get your microcloth. You're gonna go ahead and just shove it in there deep. Just get your fingers in there, play it safe. What this is gonna do is avoid any type of unnecessary liquid getting where you don't want it to. Now, you wanna go ahead and grab yourself a second microcloth. Because when you go ahead and pull that filter off, it's gonna be leaking like the Nile River. So you're gonna go ahead and just twirl that off right there, gently. You wanna go slow with it.
Get in there nice and deep like.
Alrighty, so your nipple right there, long ass nipple. And you're gonna go ahead and just swivel it up. And there you go. Now this is extremely hot, so we're gonna go ahead and take it off anyways. So you're just gonna go ahead and pull that up. And you can see all the oil right there. This is extremely hot as I'm burning my fingers, but that is your oil filter canister, or whatever you wanna call it. So what we're gonna go ahead and do next is set this down. Here's our rubber gasket. We wanna go ahead and remove that. All right, so what you're gonna go ahead and do is just grab a flathead or a probe, whatever's gonna work easier. You're just gonna go ahead and just work that in there just slightly. Just go ahead and move it up. And there you go, gasket's off. Now, here comes the ye old legend or myth. We have 4 gentlemen, including myself here today. I'm gonna ask a very important question because I've always done it. I've talked to people who never do it and no one's ever had an issue. But the question arises as to, with this little gasket, or O-ring, whatever you want to really call it, do you guys coat it with oil?
Yes.
You coat it with oil?
Yep.
John?
Yes.
Yes? John?
Yes.
Cool.
Dr. Cyanide here while I edit this video. I'm the only one that doesn't grease up the gasket. Unless the gasket is drier than hell, you really don't need to grease it. The system's pressurized on its own, so it's going to be all good once you throw it on. Back to Angel now.
I don't know why. No one knows why, but we all do it for some reason, so.
For lubrication.
People say sealant. I've talked to other people who've been doing it for years and they'd say they never do it. So all I do is just get my finger in there, get a little bit of oil, just work it real nice and soft, guys. It doesn't need to be coated, but just enough so, you know, get all nice and around and inside. So now all you're gonna go ahead and do, just slip it right in there. Go ahead and get it into that canal. Do it once over, make sure everything's set in place, and there you go. Now, we're gonna go ahead and pop our little paper filter. There's no right or wrong way to put this one specifically. Some of them will have little teeth on top. That's where you have to make sure they actually go in there, like what you'll see in the Dart video, if you guys ever saw that one. So we're just gonna go ahead and insert that in there nice and deep. Push it down, hear that little pop, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and go back over here. So we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that nipple or long nubbin goes into the hole nice and smoothly. Sometimes it needs a little force. And slide it right in there. And you're just gonna go ahead and just do it hand tight at first. You can start hearing that little rubber gasket getting in there. And you're just gonna go ahead and keep tightening it. You don't wanna go too crazy with it, but you also don't want it to go too little. So I've went ahead and gotten it to as much as I can physically do it, which is probably like at least 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. You wanna go ahead and feel right here, make sure there's no gap. If you're feeling a gap, you might be a little too weak. You might wanna go ahead and start going ahead and getting it harder. Well, what I do is once it's at its max for hand tightness, we go ahead and just grab our crescent wrench or your socket wrench, just give it a nice little there you go, you're in. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and open up where we're gonna pour our oil in. If I remember where it's at. Oh, it's right here on this car. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do is with your new oil drain plug, go ahead and put it back onto the tool. You're gonna go ahead and just, you might see a little bit of oil still leaking on there, that's okay. And then you're just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of righty-tighty. Now with these drain plugs, there is actually a little catch, so you don't over torque it. Once it reaches there, you're done. That's all you have to do. There's a little gasket on there. It's gonna prevent anything from slipping through. So now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and safely move our old oil out from underneath the car, drop it, and then we'll start pouring some new oil in this car. We'll see you on the top. Dang, you guys got up here fast. Alrighty, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna go ahead and lower our vehicle. Once again, with all safety, even if you're by yourself, one of the rituals when doing cars and it's jacked up is you have to yell, going down. And you just slowly let it go down. You don't want to drop it all the way down to the ground because we like our cars. We don't need to just throw them on the ground. Go ahead and safely pull your jack out. Now we're back over here in the front. So now we're gonna go ahead and work with going ahead and putting the actual oil into the car. So here we are right here. Make sure to always consult your owner's manual. It'll actually say that on there. This one says, recommended empfohlen. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna say that probably means recommended in German or some kind of Swahili. But it's saying Castrol. We're not using Castrol. You know why? Because those car manufacturers want you to buy a new car after 50,000 miles. What you want to be using is the ever long-lasting liquid moly. It's great. If you have a job interview in a week, don't use this. I'm just kidding. Alright guys, so next thing you want to go ahead and get is your funnel. We're gonna go ahead and just slap that right on top. Volkswagens, they're a little weird with how they actually sit. It doesn't actually sit too comfortably in there. Thank you, John.
You said slap it, so I slapped it.
Alrighty, so nice little thing. This is actually a fun thing. I haven't seen this actually with any other oil canisters or whatever you want to call these. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is just pull and then pull it up. I think I was supposed to twist. Yeah, I was supposed to twist. There you go. Got yourself a lovely little bigger nipple. There's a lot of nipples going on with this oil change. Kind of weird. So what you're gonna go ahead and do now, here's the other part of it, is naturally a lot of people will like to pour it in like this. You do not want to go ahead and do that. It causes a little air bubble. It causes go blah, 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 blah. It takes forever, and you have a higher chance of going ahead and spilling some of this wonderful oil. So you can either go at it sideways, or if you're risky enough, you can go from the top. This will avoid any kind of air pockets being built up inside there. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do very carefully, yeah, that's sturdy enough. We're just gonna go ahead and start pouring some in there. And you just wanna be real sturdy with it, steady. Just let it do its thing. You don't wanna overfill. And it takes some time. So during this time, you can think about how much you love your Volkswagen GTI. How, you know, Honda boys like to roll up and think that you're slow, and then they forget that you're over 300 horsepower. All right guys, once you go ahead and pour all the necessary oil in there, go ahead and grab this. You do always want to inspect this as well. Make sure everything looks proper on there. Eventually these do go out. This one's looking plenty fine. So we're gonna go ahead and just set it in place. Get that one click. Good, you're gonna go ahead and grab your engine cover, because this supplies so much performance and necessary, you know, you gotta be gentle with it, you know, just There you go, because the car won't run without an engine cover. There you go. Now, gotta be a little. There you go. Alrighty, and that's it. All you gotta do now is go ahead and close your hood. There's your oil change. And that's how you go ahead and change the oil on your 2015 Volkswagen GTI. If you liked the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We will be doing more of these routine maintenance videos because guess what? People need to know because big corporate wants you to spend big money over there while I'm over here trying to save you some big bucks. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, shoot us a comment if you like the video, or if you want to see something different, feel free to let us know. But this is Caribbean Viking signing off. Thank you for tuning in to another episode from Desert Octane. This is another step you can go ahead and do. Weirdly enough, GTIs are haunted. I don't know if anyone knew that, but they make weird electronic noises randomly. It's weird. It's like Anne Frank's hiding in here.